return cases, and cancellation. In this lesson, we'll break down everything you need to know about handling returns, resolving customer cases, and managing order cancellations. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to navigate these situations professionally, protect your seller reputation, and keep your customer happy, and make sure that you don't lose money as well. So even when things don't go as planned, you can refer to this lesson to make sure that you handle them the right way. So there's three things. As I said, understanding returns, how they work, when should you return, and so on, handling customer cases, and managing order cancellation. Let's get started by understanding returns. So, as you can see, returns are a normal part of any commerce business. People buy stuff, sometimes they want to return it, sometimes the item is damaged, and there is, as I said, different scenarios and different cases with this case. So, there's no exception. Customers may request a return for various reasons. Maybe the product didn't meet their expectations, it arrived damaged, or as I said, any of the reasons that I previously mentioned. Or they simply change their mind. People change their mind. So yeah, as an eBay seller, it's important to have a clear return policy in place. As we mentioned in the previous lesson, eBay allows you to set your own return policy, but keep in mind that buyers often prefer sellers who offer hassle-free returns. But if you're doing AliExpress, for example, that cannot be the case because it's very, very difficult to ship back to China, and that might cost you the product itself or even more money that you have spent already on the shipping. So yeah, a generous return policy can actually boost your sales by making shoppers feel more confident about purchasing from them. But as I said, in the case that you're, for example, getting the products from China, I suggest that the return policy is that basically that the buyer have to pay for the shipping themselves. They have to pay from it in pocket. And in most cases, they will just drop it because the shipping is too expensive back to China.
Just a quick reminder. This free dropshipping course is brought to you by Trackerbot. When you are dropshipping, making sure your tracking info is valid is crucial. Trackerbot makes it easy by automatically validating tracking numbers from suppliers like Amazon and AliExpress directly within eBay. That means better protection for your seller account and happier customers. To help you get started, we have arranged a special deal for course members only. Get 50% off your month on any Trackerbot subscription plan. Sign up at trackerbot.me/free course. All you have to do is in your browser type in www.trackerbot.me/free course, as you can see it right here. And then you'll be good to go.
Back to China. So yeah, as I said, review the reason of the return. So for example, if it's due to a mistake of your part, like sending the wrong item or something else, well, in that case, I would really urge you to accept the return because then it might be escalated to something bad. So yeah, communicate promptly and professionally. Let the buyer know you're working on resolving their issue. Let them know that, hey, maybe my shipping preferences or my shipping policies does not allow me to return this item because you've changed your mind. I'll lose a lot of money on it, and so on. And so, for example, if you're also returning from China, is basically returning from US to China or other country to China, all you have to do simply is just give the address. Don't give a shipping label because that's difficult. It's not like Amazon where all you have to do is give the customer a shipping label to print on the package or something like that, and it will be good to go. So you have to tell them to send it to a specific address if they would accept to send it in the first place. So yeah. Coordinate with your supplier as well. Understand what your supplier accepts as return. Does your supplier even also have a return policy? They might have that in place. In the case they do, make sure that you respect it as well so you don't end up being charged a lot of money. So if the product is being returned, check with your supplier to see if they accept returns and what their process is. Issue a refund or replacements in the case if the item is damaged. Once the item is returned, process the refund or send a replacement as quickly as possible. So yeah, remember how you handle returns can turn a potential negative experience into a positive one, and a smooth return process can lead to positive feedbacks and repeat customers. As I said, especially in the case that you've made the mistake or the item has been damaged, make sure that you resolve it as fast as possible. So yeah, now let's discuss handling customer cases. So yeah, a case is opened when a buyer escalates an issue to eBay because they are unhappy with how it was resolved or how it's resolved from your end, or if they feel their concern was ignored by you. Common reasons for cases include items not received, item not as described, or issues with refunds. So yeah, here is how to handle cases effectively. Make sure that you respond quickly. eBay tracks your response times, and a delay response can harm your seller performance metrics, as we explained in the previous lesson. So stay calm and professional. There is nothing to worry about. Things like this always happen. Even if the buyer is frustrated, your goal is to de-escalate the situation and not trying to combat the buyer themselves. So yeah, try to find a solution in the middle ground. Provide evidence if needed. If the buyer claims that the item was not described or was not delivered, you may need to provide tracking information or photos to support your case from your supplier. Offer a resolution. In most cases, it's better to offer a refund or replacement to close the case quickly and avoid any negative feedback. So yeah, many cases can be avoided by proactively communicating with the buyers. For example, if there's shipping delay, let the buyer know as soon as possible. So now finally, let's talk about managing order cancellations. Cancellations can happen in a variety of reasons. There's also a time window that the buyer can cancel without any hassle. So make sure that you don't ship any products within that window. I think that window is around 1 hour, but I think that might differ from your shipping policy. I am not very confident about it. So yeah, as I said, 1 hour they can cancel without any hassle. So yeah, cancellations can happen. Maybe the buyer changed their mind, or perhaps the item is out of stock from your supplier. Whatever the reason, it's important to handle cancellations professionally to maintain your reputation. Here is how to manage it. So first of all, act quickly. If the buyer requests a cancellation, process it as soon as possible to avoid shipping the item unnecessarily. Communicate clearly, let the buyer know the cancellation has been processed, and apologize for the inconvenience to just be as professional as possible. Also, update your inventory. If the cancellation is due to an out of stock item, make sure that you mark it as an out of stock, as cancellations are often unavoidable, but how you handle them can make all the difference. A polite and professional approach can leave a positive impression even if the sale didn't go through. So yeah, as I said, returns, customer cases, order cancellations, those are all pretty important to have a general idea about, and your shipping preferences also declare how those things are going to happen most of the time. So make sure that your shipping policy does not cost you money, does not lose you money, especially if you notice that you are returning a lot of items. So yeah, that's about it for this lesson. I will see you in the next one.